Welcome back to IGN Live at E3 2016. I'm Max. I'm here with Taylor and Jamie. You guys are working on Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Taylor, you're the narrative designer? Director?
Narrative director.
Director.
Yeah.
There's always a weird title there. And Jamie, you're in the game.
I am in the game.
You're like a star of the game? It's
Sort
weird
of.
because you're here. You're a human being made of flesh and blood, not pixels. Like
It's true.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is the first Call of Duty game that, when demoed yesterday, the Sony presser, I sat there kind of like for 45 seconds before I realized it was Call of Duty because you're going to space. Can you talk a little bit about how to go to space with the guns and the shooting and the...
How to go to space?
How do you go to space?
Well,
you heard it here
must
first.
get in your jackal.
Yeah.
And then you must launch.
Okay,
Break
so
atmosphere.
I got to ask this right off the bat. The flight demo, like the spaceship stuff, looks just like stunning. Is that on rails? Or is there like freedom? Like
No, it's fully free, full freedom. It's a huge point of focus for us. This jackal, this vehicle that you come back to over and over again. It has to be an extension of you. It's not a on the rails sequence. It's not just a a one-off or whatever. This is a vehicle that you're going to return to over and over again in the game.
Well, I mean, dude, it's a kick-ass spaceship. Like, it's pretty rad. You have a background in making games with a lot of story. You used to work at Naughty Dog. It seems like a game that's really emphasizing narrative, as it would be indicated by having a narrative director on stage here at IGN. What's the story here? Like, what's going on?
Well, the big focus for us was a really deep, immersive story. And we really have doubled down on that. I've been working with Jamie and Brian, who plays Captain Reyes, who's also the writer. I've been working with Brian for more than 2 years on this, and Jamie and I've been shooting together for over a year. So the real focus is on creating a deep, immersive story with believable characters that we really think the fans are going to enjoy.
Now, is it kind of like sort of like space colonies versus Earth, or who are the big players here?
Well, the premise for Infinite Warfare is that Earth is running out of resources, and this is a thing that we see, every day here in California. We're got water shortages. We're running out of rare earth materials, and they're called rare earth materials or rare earth minerals because they are rare on Earth. But where they're not rare is in outer space.
Yeah.
And so it has been said that the first trillionaire is going to be the person who can successfully mine an asteroid and bring those materials back to Earth. And so that was sort of our jumping off point for this story, because wherever there's money, there's going to be greed, there's going to be conflict.
Sure.
And so the conflict over the resources of the solar system is what's at the heart of Infinite Warfare. Our enemy is a fascist, nationalistic, greedy group who have risen up and want to claim all of these resources kind of for themselves and want to see the destruction of Earth. And it's Lieutenant Salter and Captain Reyes who must fight back this tremendous foe basically on Earth's darkest day.
Okay. Jamie, can you talk a little bit about your character?
Yeah, absolutely. My character is Lieutenant Salter, and she is the player's partner throughout the game. She's kind of the one who's flying along next to him and making sure that he gets where he needs to go. Lieutenant Salter and the player character, Captain Reyes, went through flight school together, have been together, flown together for 10 years, and now all of a sudden, with the conflict of the game, you find Captain Reyes promoted to captain, and you find Lieutenant Salter as his subordinate for the first time in their relationship.
Okay.
So you get to kind of see how that tension builds. Because she's a little bit of she doesn't really play by the rules.
Okay.
She does what she needs to do to get things done.
There's some sass there, I'm guessing.
A little bit of sass. So you get to see how their interaction changes throughout the game.
So you went to boot camp to get ready for this. How does one prepare to go to space to shoot people with space machine guns and have grappling hooks in a Jackal spaceship? Like,
well, we worked really closely with our naval advisors. We have both Navy SEALs and naval officers on staff with us. The whole cast and Taylor, we all went through Navy SEAL training, so we learned how to do all the proper weapons and tactical work. We know how to move as a unit. It was really important, as it always has been to the Call of Duty games, to really make sure you're giving it integrity to represent our armed forces. And so we wanted to make sure we were getting that right. So we went through learning how to clear a room, working in teams of 4. How do you enter a space if there's a hostile inside? So actually on set, we would have to properly execute all of these tactical...
Good old-fashioned tactical stuff like breaching a space station in zero G. Like,
exactly. You
yeah.
know, we are in space, but it does combine a lot of the elements of traditional warfare for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
we really wanted to represent our armed forces in a way that did what they do justice.
Sure.
Brian Bloom, who's our writer and our lead actor, he and I actually did an embark on a U.S. aircraft carrier. We had an arrested landing. We got to watch the F-18s take off and land and do maneuvers. And then we had a catapult launch back into our plane and back to the base in San Diego. And it was an incredible experience. And we're trying to bring that to this game. I think if you see
dude, that's bonkers.
in our demo there, that hangar deck, that should feel like a real aircraft carrier and a real working carrier at that.
Okay. This game has been in the work for, what, 3 years, you said, I think?
It will be it's actually Infinity Ward's first 3-year development cycle.
Wow.
So it's our first crack at this longer development cycle, which allows us to do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like you can see this new mechanics, zero-G combat, the grapple, the persistent jackal, and it's allowed us to really create a game that is virtually seamless in its nature. You know, one of our big tenets is this is the first opening hours of an incredible war. And so there's no load screens, there's no load movies. You seamlessly go from traditional boots on the ground combat to getting in your jackal, to launching up into atmosphere, to assaulting enemy, sorry, what are they? They're called, they're not jackals, they're called skelters. Enemy skelters in a jackal arena. That AI has been a huge point of emphasis. And then to assault an enemy destroyer, reach through the bridge, take out the captain, steal enemy intel, and then exfil back out into your jackal. It's and all seamless, and then fly back to Retribution, land back on your carrier, enter the bridge, and pick a new mission.
So, like, for people who maybe are sort of asleep at the wheel on Call of Duty as a franchise, this seems like a pretty big, like you're kind of zero-G space station breaching the franchise. Like, you were blowing the door wide open and going in there and really shaking things up.
Yeah, I mean, having this new setting was absolutely crucial to having new mechanics. For example, that grapple hook that you saw, it allows you to, really what it's doing is it's allowing you to close space to your enemies, right? We know that the normal core gameplay loop of Call of Duty is to take cover and then get to the next bit of cover as quickly as possible. Well, with this grapple, you're basically doing the same thing, but now in zero-G and in 3 dimensions. So you can flank your enemies vertically, horizontally, whatnot.
Yeah, I'm into it. And honestly, like, I've been saying this, I cannot think of a game that was made worse by the addition of a grappling hook. It looks fun. When is this out? When can people get it?
November 4th, 2016. It's going to be amazing. We're also releasing Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. That's coming out along with the game, and the team at Raven has been doing a great job with that. So I'm excited to play that because, I mean, I'm a huge Modern Warfare, right?
Yeah, right?
Crew Expendable, Warpig.
People are
all
excited about this. This is good stuff. Thank you guys so much for coming by and showing off this cool game. We've got plenty more E3 stuff coming up, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.